Good morning, welcome to the DanST Engineering Workshop. Today we're in the back room where we build our throttle bodies up. I just want to do a quick video to basically go over the sort of length of these assemblies, because quite often we get asked what is the shortest setup we can do, because you've got a brake servo in the way, or an inner wing, or a bulkhead, or whatever. So I'm primarily focusing on the SF type throttle bodies and the DCOE type throttle bodies. So yeah, people think quite often that you'll be able to make a really nice short manifold, use a nice set of short SFs, and that'll end up being a really short setup, which it does. But the complication comes when you're trying to clear the injectors to put an air filter plate on. So yeah, we can make a really short manifold. This one's not a particularly short one, but we can get this manifold down to about 60 millimeters. Which is great, and again these are nice and short as well, about 65 millimeters, and then with just a 25mm trumpet on the top of it, you're down to about 150 millimeters in length, which is very short. But if you want to fit that filter plate, obviously this surface is below the fuel rail, so trying to put that on there, it's going to clash with the fuel rail. So you end up with what we've done here, which is a printed spacer, which adds another 30mm back onto it to allow us to fit filter plate and clear the fuel rail, which is fine, but it does result in a longer setup than you were expecting. Now that's with a medium length injector in there. You can get short body injectors which will knock about another 10, maybe 15mm off this setup. But yeah, with a medium body injector, you're looking at about 150mm long with a 25mm trumpet. But if you're going to put an air filter on, which I always recommend that you do run an air filter, you know, typical pipe across, the shallowest one of those is 65mm deep. So with a 25mm trumpet on there, we can get a 65mm deep filter over the top of it. So basically, for the SFs with a nice short manifold, shortest trumpets, so 25mm trumpets, and the smallest filter to go on there, which is a 502 filter, and I say that's 65mm deep, then your overall setup ends up being 220mm from the head face to the top of the filter. So that gives us an idea how short we can go on the SFs. Like I say, you could probably shave 10mm off that if you use a short body injector, but you know, splitting hairs a little bit. So roughly 220mm for that setup. Now, if we move to the DCOE setup, such as that, the paired DCOE bodies, then again, that is a nice short manifold. That manifold is 60mm long. That is, as I say, about as short as we can go for getting in and welding. But yeah, we can get a 65mm long manifold for either of these setups. But the DCOE body is a lot longer. So that body is 120mm long. But what that means is you don't actually need this spacer, because it already puts this trumpet face above the fuel rail. We've got our billet fuel rail shown there, and it still clears that, because that is actually a bit deeper than this fuel rail. So this is the standard fuel rail that comes with these throttle bodies, but we offer the optional billet rail, which is a bit taller but looks a lot nicer. So yeah, with the DCOEs, the overall length with a 25mm trumpet and no air filter will come out about 205mm long. So again, not too long, but then if you want to put a filter on there, that'll end up at 245mm long. That's with a 502 filter over a set of 25mm trumpets. If you want to go to 50mm trumpets, which tends to be where most engines are happy, we find on the dyno that with a 25mm trumpet you'll lose out on a bit of torque and a bit of power on an averagely spec engine. Then if we're going with a 50mm trumpet, we're going to have to go to the 504 filter, which basically adds about 60mm to the lengths that I just said. So where you are at 220 on this setup with the shallowest filter, we'll add about another 60mm onto that, and that'll put you about 280mm long. On the DCOE setup, again, it adds about 60mm long to what we quoted, so we're either putting a 50mm trumpet in and a 504 filter, and that will come out at about 305mm total length. So yeah, that's just a bit of an overview. As I say, we have done these nice 3D printed spacers to allow the filter plate to go over the fuel rail. So this setup does still end up being shorter ultimately, so that probably is the way to go if you're stuck for space. So the nice short body, short injectors, short manifold, and we can get it reasonably tight. Now the other option is this all goes out the window if your engine has injectors mounted in the cylinder head. If they're mounted in the cylinder head, then obviously we completely do away with this, and then we can do nice short manifold. All you've got is that body and a set of trumpets, so that really does become very compact. So we could knock 30mm off what we just said, so the 220 comes down to about 190mm with an air filter on, which is very good. So like for example a Toyota 4Age where the injectors are in the head, or a Ford Duratec, you can use the injector positions in the head, not have them in the throttle bodies, and get a really nice short setup. We are also looking to do a short DCOE, which is really short, like that sort of length, but again you still have these similar problems, so that's for another video when we've spent a bit more time developing that. But yeah, obviously for all your throttle body needs, we're here. Check out our website, these DCOE kits, SF kits, all on there. We can customise them to suit your requirements. So yeah, check out danstengineering.co.uk, drop us a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.